Hi there, it's Monday morning. I'm about to post another video. I'm sitting here with Willie. Willie's a highly trained guard dog. Couches are his specialty. He can guard a couch all day. Anyway, lots happening this week. In the video I'll have a fantastic fertility rate on the eggs. Probably 66 eggs out of 68 were fertile. I went through the hatch compartment, and this morning I went over and one of the rabbits has given birth, so I'll have a bit of that at the end. The second one not yet, the cream one not yet, but she'll not be far off, I'm sure. So let's get into it. So I've got a bit of a breakdown with the incubator I've discovered this morning. The humidity is down, and it appears the ultrasonic humidifier has failed. So it's not getting above the outside humidity. It's actually a little bit lower because of the heating unit in there. So I'll just swap this one out, and hopefully this will solve the problem. So it's off and running again. Pretty simple fix. Let's hope it's all good. So the outside humidity's, see that, it's 41%. Inside now is 31 down the bottom, and it's reading 25 up here. That the red light says there's an alarm, so it should get up again on it. When I found it, it was 42%. That's not too disastrous, that should be okay. We want to keep it above 50 as much as we can. Those humidifiers seem to go all the time. It's a very common part. I'll go and order another couple today and have it there. And this is spare. That's the main sort of, apart from the fans go, but I've got two new fans down the bottom. They should be good, and I've got one fan up the top that's a bit older, but that should be good as well. The other thing is the heater elements, they've never gone. So 3 weeks into driving around Australia in a four-wheel drive truck that I built, COVID struck, so all the plans had to change. We ended up buying an abandoned dairy farm in northeast Victoria, fertile river fat country with billabongs all over the place. Home to a vast variety of wildlife. Join me as I explore the joys of small farming, the wonderful wildlife we have, and as I try to make sense of this crazy world we all live in. So it's about 5 minutes on, we've got to 50%, so we're pretty good really. 51%, so that's rising pretty quickly, so that's all good. The humidity at this stage, the humidity is not that crucial. It becomes more crucial when you've got eggs hatching. What you don't want is the membrane between the eggshell and the chick inside to dry out, because then it becomes too difficult for the chick to push out through it. They get sort of wrapped up and can't get out. So you want the above sort of 55-60% humidity during that period. Hence down the bottom of this one where the hatching tray is, we've got extra trays of water, and I'll top those up when the time comes. 30 minutes later and we're up to 52%, which is fine. Oh, we are down here 57%, so that's good. So they act pretty quickly, those ultrasonic misters. A lot of the other incubators use sort of water surface area with a fan blowing on it, which is a little bit harder to control, where this on-off misting device sort of does it really quickly.
dark petals in this one, but still.
So it's Wednesday. I've sort of fallen into making Wednesdays a day when I fill the incubator. So 16th is the first one, 23rd was the next one, and this Wednesday it's the 30th. So I'm putting it in the 30th, putting another layer in the 30th, on the 30th. And they're all coming out on a Sunday. So it's Wednesdays, and they're all coming out on a Sunday. So the 3rd and the 10th. So this 3rd I'll be moving chicks in. It's sort of the reason why I've fallen into doing that is it becomes a logic sort of thing to do. That I'll put them in on Wednesday, Sunday lunchtime is 18 days, so I'll take them out and go into lockdown. And as I say, 19, 20, 21. So hopefully I'm opening on the 21st or the 22nd, which is a Wednesday or a Thursday. And so it's sort of a logical flow. It seemed to work last year. So one of the things that the counting wise is that it takes 18 days before you put them into the hatch phase. So 18 days is fairly sort of strict. So my reading of that is that 18 days elapsed, and the experience is also 18 days elapsed. So it's not, if I'm starting today on Wednesday the 30th, I'm not going 1, 2, I'm actually going days elapsed. So 31st is 1 day elapsed, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's 18th to 7th, so it's 18 days elapsed. So on the 17th at 10 a.m. that will be when 18 days have elapsed, according to me. And likewise, if we're going forward, 19 days elapsed, 20 days elapsed, 21 days elapsed, 22 days elapsed. So somewhere in there, 21 to 23 is when you'll get a full hatch. So some people like Mr. Red Belly here gets to lay around in the sun on a beautiful morning like it is this morning and take in the rays and just have a generally good time while the rest of us have to work. I've got chooks to feed. I've got to move chook pens. I've got to cut rabbit food. But this bloke just gets to bloody lay around in the sun all morning. Really? I was reading a bit about the red belly black snakes. They actually give birth to live young, which is very interesting. It's a brown snake, which is very similar, lays those soft shell eggs. So I've worked out a cost-effective way to irrigate the potatoes, just using the one drip line on for all the rows. I just simply attach it at one end and walk down. You'll see me do it in a minute, and just move it over to the next row. So I'm not spending a whole lot of money on drip line. It's not in the way of when I harvest. The other two really good things is that it uses very little water and doesn't encourage weed growth between the rows, which is a big bonus. If I was to use overhead irrigation, which I have in past years, the weeds just get out of hand. So particularly this time, before they grow, before the potatoes are out of the ground, if I can water just the potatoes, then they get a good head start on the weeds around them and the weeds between the row. As the growth progresses, I'll use a thing I've built for the back of the tractor on the utility bar to move the soil in around the potatoes. So I'm mounding around the potato as they grow. That also knocks down a lot of the weeds around the potatoes. And this drip line, I like it too because it uses very little pressure. You don't put much pressure on it at all to get it to operate. I can run a lot of drip line on very little pressure. So 18 days have elapsed since I put the first tray in. So it's Sunday, it's the 3rd, and 18 days occurs at 10 a.m, so it's about 10 a.m. now, so we'll move it over. The incubator's pretty well on mark. Inside we've got, it says it's got 49%, 37% outside relative humidity, which surprises me actually, because we might get a couple of mil of rain today, so I don't know what's going on there. So the process I'm going to use is, this is my tray that they go in. I'm going to line that with with that blotting paper. I'll wet it out a little bit. That's because I don't want to put relatively eggs that have a shell at 53% humidity onto dry paper, because the paper will draw a bit of that moisture out, and we don't. That's the last thing we want. I'll also take the water trays, top those up, and I'll put again I'll use this whatever you call it, paper as wicks up the side, to see if I can get the humidity in the incubating chamber up a little bit as well. So let the transfer begin. So this first egg is clear, that's not developed, so that it wasn't a fertile egg. This next egg, the light, when I get to the right position, doesn't shine through, so it's got a chick in it. So in hatch number 1 I had 66 black Australorps, 12 reds, a total of 78 eggs altogether. Only 1. That is unbelievable. That makes me very, very happy. Possibly 2. One of them, one of them might have developed to a point. I think I wasn't sure, so I put it in anyway. So if we got 2 out of 78, 76 eggs, that's absolutely brilliant. We're back up to temperature pretty quick. And now, so it's day 18 for those eggs down there in the hatching chamber. Now we just don't touch it till Wednesday, or 4 days. So 19's Monday, 20's Tuesday, 21 days is Wednesday. So that should be hatching well and truly by Wednesday. I'll put another load in, but I can just quickly slot them in. But it's very important to just absolutely, it's called the lockdown. You lock your eggs down for that 3 days of hatching to keep everything very stable. I think the reason being is that membrane. You just don't want any dry air over the membrane, because it dries it off and the chicks can't get out. That's a bit of a disaster. I'm having a bit of a look at the soil profile up here near the chooks. So just to give you a bit of background, this was originally a dairy, so the 1940s, 30s, 40s it was a dairy, up until I think about the 60s, and then for a few years horses were run on it and donkeys were run on it, and then it was adjusted, cattle were adjusted on it, so nothing really has been done to the soil. It's all been take. So first of all, I just rested this area and mowed it. Last year I ran a ripper through it to rip it down. This year I rotary hoed the surface to try to control the weeds. I didn't spray, and I sowed a sort of diverse crop of oats, wheat, lupins, field peas or dun peas, and there are a few other the sort of herbs in there as well. As you can see, a lot of other stuff has come up as well. There's the ryegrass that was here originally, that's come up. So what did we find? What did I find? It's pretty good. It's fireable. There's plenty of roots down deep. It's pretty good. I didn't do this beforehand, so it's hard to compare, but it's looking pretty nice down the bottom. Perennial rye. This is perennial ryegrass here, coming up. I call it a dock. That's a weed, but you can see we've got the peas coming up. They're sort of finished now, so they're just pulling out. And it varies around. There's a lot of peas down this run, but now the ryegrass. That's a bit of wheat, and that's a bit of rye. A bit of wheat and rye. So these bits of degraded clay are from about 600 mil down. We've still got roots coming on, and that'll be a legume because we've got little nodules on it, nitrogen nodules. But also it's quite friable at that distance. We've got lots of holes in it, and break it up pretty easy. There's a bit of moisture in it, but yeah. So that's just from one season. So these samples are from 800 millimeters down, and you can see there's plenty of roots going through it. I didn't find any nitrogen nodules, but there's plenty of roots travelling down through it. It's quite fireable. So it looks pretty good. So that's it. I'll post sort of late Monday, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Look, he's gone to sleep again. Oh God, dogs. I don't understand it. I work hard all day and end the day tired, and I still feel guilty that I haven't done enough, that I haven't worked hard enough. Yet these dogs, they can just lie around and sleep all day, and they seem quite happy with it. What's going on? Who has the best deal? Anyway, thanks for watching right to the end. There was a lot in this one. I've counted, I'll probably have about 80 more mouths to feed by the end of tomorrow afternoon, I reckon. Wednesday afternoon. That's just the way it is though, isn't it? So thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for next week. We'll have some little baby rabbits.